And good morning, everyone. We are live with NHPO. Today is Tuesday, and I think it's October 27th. We are so close to the end, and here come the holidays. And first, I always like to start by welcoming all our viewership, our membership, friends, and family that always support NHPO. You stop by every week, and we are so thankful and grateful that you do, that you stop by, listen to our amazing guests that we have every week. And you catch us Mondays and Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays. And we love to see the response that we get, the questions. And I want to let you guys know we get a lot of questions through these platforms and how to become a member of NHPO. Drop me the information below or reach out to me through NHPO page or my private page under Ilsa Garcia, and I will give you all the information. We would love to have you as a member of NHPO. For those that are watching for the first time, NHPO has been in existence for 16 years. We are the National Hispanic Professional Organization, and many of the founders are still around. Mr. Ben Mendez, Sonia Rivera, and the fabulous Mary Klossner. We have Mr. Compion, Greg Compion. So a lot of people that created NHPO are still around. And so we like to thank them and give them a big thank you today, because without them, this would not have been in existence. And here we are 16 years later with an amazing board. What we do, we're in the business of connecting you, our members, friends, and family to resources, to many things in our community. We are a professional networking organization all over the city, and we're always honored, excited to meet new members or people who come to our events. For the past 16 years, we've had a face-to-face networking event. Due to COVID, we haven't had one because we are following guidelines. And of course, we want you to be safe. So please continue to mask up, to sanitize, and to take care of yourself and your family. We will be back to networking face-to-face, hopefully in November as a soft opening, and doing so very carefully and following all guidelines. Please keep in contact here on our NHPO page to read and see when our next event will happen. In the meantime, we'll still continue to bring you our show through virtual platforms. And so today we have an amazing person, and she is right next to me. And Soledad Tanner, we've known for quite a long time, and such an amazing woman. I can go on and on and on. She is the CEO of STC Consulting. And I was letting her know prior to this, to going live, that as soon as we released her photo yesterday, we started receiving so many questions from you guys, from everybody out there. And, they wanted to know, and you know what, I'll let her answer this, but something that caught my attention is that many people, are still thriving through COVID, through this pandemic. And I've said this before, don't let your goals and your dreams go away. If your goals and your dreams were to buy a house, continue with that goal and dream. Continue going forward. If your goals and dreams were to open up a business, continue to follow that goal and that dream, because we want to see you. We want to see you thrive through this pandemic. So without further ado, to all our members, friends, and family and viewership that is watching, the amazing Soledad Tanner. Welcome, Soledad. Thank you so much you're such a busy woman. You're everywhere. And I know you have many clients, but I want to thank you right now for taking time, and not only this morning, but we'll have you in our NHPO Pequeños Negocios tonight at 6 p.m. with our host, Director Frank Rodriguez. So thank you for taking a whole day to be with NHPO. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's such an amazing introduction. It's a pleasure to be here, and a pleasure to talk to you and to talk to the community about how can we continue to get ahead during this time. It's very, very important that we all stick together and continue to learn and continue to look for the opportunities to make this still a very good year.
That is correct. I know that you are an entrepreneur, Soledad. And one of the things that someone asked me during this, when we were doing the show and getting ready for it, it was what I just said. what exactly does a consultant do? Because consultant is such a big topic,
Yep.
right? Because what is it? Like, who do I focus? So one of the questions was, how, number one, what exactly is STC consultant and what areas do you service?
Perfect. Let me start with a little story. I'm from Ecuador, and I worked in finance for like 7 years in Ecuador in banking. Then moved to the U.S. and worked for like 20 plus years in a global logistic firm. And I was in the finance area and the controlling area, and I learned through all these many years
Right.
the extent in which massive corporations control their money, the way how many people they have as supporting staff, checking and controlling the profit, the productivity of different business units, of different sectors, of different departments. So when I decided to open the firm, and then I realized that a lot of the small and medium-sized businesses did not have these eye on the money that deep as massive corporations does. And that is the beginning of STC Consultant. What we do, we are a financial and business consulting firm, and we're here to help businesses improve their profit and productivity from the financial point of view. So I'm very connected to the analysis of the results, of taking the analysis of the result and create a strategy moving forward that is positive and in line with the goals of the organization. So when
Okay.
we
And
go, every business goes to different ups and downs in every country, in every industry. So I take, we had Harvey in Houston 3 years ago. Then we have Imelda in Houston, a couple, the storm that also closed the
right.
city a little bit. Now we have COVID, and we hopefully we will have a smaller crisis in the future, but we will always have highs and lows. The price of oil, the global economy, et cetera, the political situation. So our businesses need to get used to manage for the high and the lows. And that is what I love doing it. And I love talking to the community, showing, teaching, coaching of how can you optimize not only your money, but your resources that at the end of the day are your money. So what is a consultant? It's somebody who has many years of experience in a particular subject that now can give that knowledge and expertise to the public.
so Soledad, here's my question when it comes to consulting. And right now, when you hit a really good word in here, the productivity of your company.
Mhm.
Right now with COVID and the pandemic, a lot of things are happening. People are losing their jobs. These major corporations, we see it every day. We see, all this news about, I won't say the corporations, because if you watch the news, you know that in oil and gas and many corporations, they're furloughing or they're letting people go, right? And so here comes, but here's the thing. So whenever you get laid off or people, they're reducing their staff, the job itself that they're letting you go, it still stays in the company, but they're giving that productivity to people that are staying behind, that job to stay, people that are still employed. So that person is having to do 2 to 3 to 4 jobs, to keep the company going. But and at some point you sit there and you're like, well, I'm just thankful to have a job. But in terms of productivity, do you still believe, that this is, as companies are still thriving, even though you're furloughing a lot of your employees? And how does that work? And you see in consulting, and you're many years in consulting, where do you see these companies going with that?
I think in any company, the most important question to ask is what is the value added that we're giving to the client? Regardless if you are a huge airline or a small restaurant, all the way from oil and energy to logistics, what is the value added? And if the market willing and able to pay for my services because they need it. So what happens? Let's answer the question with a little bit of real. What happened since COVID? We start ordering more things online because at the very beginning we prefer to pay the price of the shipping, but we consider it to be safer at home, so we didn't need to be in contact with other people. So companies had to start adapting to be profitable and productive. So now most of the business became online and had to be shipped to your house, such as that even in Texas you were able to ship not only food to help the restaurants but also alcohol. There is a gap there's an opening in the law that allowed that, so restaurants can continue to produce enough revenue to survive. So companies, when we go to with seasons like these, when the demand may be decreased, the economical area is also shrink, the economy shrinks, their services and products are no longer needed. And therefore, the volume is no longer there. Therefore, that's why many people, there's no longer the need of so much manpower to produce quantities, because there's no demand of those products. So not only when corporations let people go, some of the job stay with the people that stay in the company, but some of them are no longer needed because the volume is not there. And the companies need to start thinking, what is the market asking? What do they need now? What new product or services are they willing to pay? What price is the pay point? And the same logic we need to use for small businesses. The same concept that we use for corporations. Now, for example, if I am a restaurant, I need to improve my delivery. I need to do something, maybe a patio outside, so people can come and consume in my business. So changing and adapting as the need and as the moment comes it never stops, and it's the number one concept that we need to apply right now to our businesses.
How important is it, Soledad, to have a consultant in your company, to hire outside consulting services? How important is for a company? Because, we don't, as employees of companies or people that continue working, we only see what we come in, right? Your 8 to 5 or whatever your schedule may be, right? So we don't see the back, we see only what we do, right? And it's 8 to 5, your job, and then you're done. How important is consulting in corporations and small business? How do they benefit from having a pretty much a consultant at their service?
Normally you hire an independent, when you hire a consultant, you hire an independent source of knowledge that is able and willing to question and challenge you, and can do that because it's not an employee. It's not afraid to say, I don't like what you're doing. I suggest you do this better, because if you do this, you're going to get A, B, C, and D results. So when you hire a consultant, you hire years, decades of experience looking at companies like yours, are situations like yours, with proven track records of results, and that helps you evolve. Is somebody who is a subject matter expert in a particular area. You are the subject matter expert of your company. If you are producing pipes, you are the engineer who knows how to produce pipes. Or if you're quality control, or if you are a doctor. Many of my clients are doctors. I am not at all an expert in medicine, but when I go to a hospital or a clinic, I can see the inefficiencies that, because you see them every day, you kind of get used to them and they look normal. But when a new set of eyes comes through the door and I start asking, why don't you do that? Have you noticed that ABC is causing this situation? Do you know that this other company does this and with proven results? Suddenly you get pills of knowledge, and then you get that aha moment, and could make a difference between keeping it small or just having a very productive and profitable for the long, long time for your company.
So we just got a question on here, and the question is, how important is branding in a company?
Branding is the image, it's an intangible that what you are. So it's important. Marketing is something that is um, used to approach the client to you. So you are become known for ABC. You are known for responsibility. You are known for efficiency. You are known for fun, depending of the product that you sell. So your branding is your clients to you. So you need to stick with your core values or your essence. If you are known for efficiency, then continue to deliver the image, the colors, the branding, the service. So every time somebody thinks of that need, he or she thinks on your company as the only source or the best option to satisfy their needs.
I love that you say that, and especially when it comes to being that person that you go to. I think it's one of the best things. I know you agree with this, but the fact that one of the, talking this past week, when we talk with other businesses to get them, to the organization, to help out the organization and to be on this live shows, one of the things that I always hear in the conversation is they want to be known for what everybody wants to be known for, and that is to you be the person that they come to, the loyalty, the customer service, and you know what I found out, Soledad, that I do not, that I was like, oh, how interesting, that a lot of companies have trouble, they're great at production, they have great people or sales, they have great sales, but what they lack in is a lot of customer service. Especially during these times, you're seeing people get away, right, from companies. You're seeing them like say, you know what, I don't have the money, but at the same time, they want to continue doing business, and they come to, the company that they know they can rely on, number one, but they lack in a customer service sense. And so I see that a lot of companies are wanting to learn more. How do you become customer service inclined? Like, how do I go to where my employees are more, more customer service trained? Is that something that you also look at in your profession?
Yeah, because that is one of the biggest source of revenue leakage. So imagine a pipe with water with a hole. Money start dripping to that because we are humans that are looking for an amazing experience. Even if we buy a simple thing that needs to come to the house, an ingredient for a cake or makeup through online or clothing. Maybe we have a party this weekend and we're looking for that dress that needs to come online. And if something happens, you need to communicate with your customer with the truth and solve that client challenge, even if you lose money with that client, because that person will always remember that this company made it right to me, even though in a challenging situation. So you have to really go over the processes and procedures of how the client experience is going to be, and put your employees in the other side so they feel sometimes the pain of what is not to have that experience. In an economy like ours, there are millions of options for every service and product. The client experience is what will stay in your memory. Think about the last time you went to a restaurant and the food was amazing, but the service was bad.
Right.
Did you go back to the restaurant? No, you did not, because you have 10,000 restaurants to choose from. So our employees constant training, and remember, the employees do as they see. So you as a leader need to show that. If that means that you get on the phone as a president and call your client to apologize for an error, you do that, and your employees will follow you.
That's amazing. That advice, I love to hear that, because you are so correct. We as humans, we all, as a human population, we seek that. We want to see that customer service everywhere we go. It's very important, and it's, restaurants, from restaurants to stores. When they're kind to you, you're more inclined to spend more money. And so I hear that from the business community, where they feel now during COVID, and they have to retain as many customers as possible. They want you to come back. This is where you're going to eat here Monday through Sunday, and one of the things that they want to work on is customer service, because they're realizing that.
If you look at it from the financial point of view, that's my area. To acquire a new client costs you 3 times more than to retain a client.
Yes.
So if I meet a new person, I have to go, explain what I do, go to lunch, meet the person again, submit a proposal. I get a small project, then they trust you, okay. That takes X amount of time. When you have a client that they trust you, that is the treasure that you need to keep, because trust takes a second to break and years to build. And not only that you're hurting a customer, but if you analyze that from the financial point of view, you just lost a ton of money, because you're going to have to invest to replace that client with a new one.
Best advice that you can give to someone, that is it. That customer service, that is just a little nugget, but a big chunk of businesses is having that customer service, having to retain. Again, as consumers that we are consumers. We want, as consumers, Soledad, I always get this quite a lot, because as consumers, we seem to be very picky, or very attuned to what we need, right? So you don't want to go pay, right? You don't want to say, let's keep on the trend of a restaurant. You pay X amount of money for something, but you want to feel at home. You want something tangible. You want something delicious, something great. But most important, you want your waiter, the person that owns to be welcoming to you, right? Because then that makes you have a whole different sense of like, you know what, I'm always going to remember that, because as humans, we remember the people that were kind to us, the service that was provided to us. And so when you want to take clients, and I see this in a financial standpoint, like you do, like if you work in a business environment where you take customers, right? And you're like, I'm gonna go to that restaurant. No matter what you're going to go to that restaurant that that you're not going to get bad service, because that goes, you don't want to recommend a bad service. So I love the fact of consulting. Before this show, I studied what it was. And then I said to myself, how important, if I would have a business, right? This is very important, because usually an employee will not tell you fully, right? Or they may not see what's going on, but an outside consultant will tell you the truth, how to be more productive, where are you hurting, and where you are good at. This is what you need to do to continue doing this. So moving on to that, how is your business doing during these times?
Well, it incredibly busy. And one of the reasons for is I support businesses with financial management and financial knowledge to drive the businesses. So what happens? Many clients that have seen the difference were already on board, and their companies were doing great. They were their savings was good, the working capital was good, the processes and procedures were good, their financial statements were on time. We were having budgets and forecast meetings, but many businesses have had the luxury to survive without that extra layer of knowledge. So what happens? COVID comes, we are all in shock, right? Absolutely all of us are in shock. And then we start getting news from SBA, and the government that they're going to obviously open the emergency loan. And then we thought, well, maybe this is a month, 2 months. And then it turned out, obviously, it's way longer than we ever dreamed. And what happens, even companies that had sufficient working capital, in the moment that the economy became smaller, sales start going down. And now we had a challenge from the financial point of view. So most of us require some kind of support from SBA, and then they open the PPP, correct, the payroll protection program. Guess what's the number one request to ask for a loan is? To have your financial statements on time and be knowledgeable about what you have and what you need. Simple as that. If you're going to go and ask for money, even the bank is going to need to see that you have an organized company, that you know what your needs are, that you can do a projection of what your future needs are going to be. So this topic of financial management, of managing your company, even if it's a small one, became such, it was always a priority, but now it became an emergency. So I have had the pleasure to work with so many businesses, small, medium, all sizes, all industries, that really require at one point the extra help so they can access the loans. But also once they got the loans, now you have this amount of money in the bank. Well, you better use this money in the best possible way that makes your company solid and make you last the longer. So the topic of financial literacy for businesses has become a hot commodity, and it's here to stay, because the recovery process, it's going to take a while. It's not going to be overnight. And this applies not only to corporations, but also to medium and small size companies. We're blessed in Texas to have economies that come from transportation, oil, NASA Medical Center, but still we have seen the effects of the smaller economy, and especially the Latin community, and especially women has been significantly affected by the companies downsizing, and many of these groups are starting new business with the opportunities. And now more than ever, we need to apply for loans and be very in tune with financial knowledge.
That is, I love that you said it. And if anything, that if our listeners and our viewers will get out of this is to be able to continue moving forward. Mm-hmm. Am I correct, Soledad? Continue moving forward with their companies. Like, you're going to have bumps in the road. This was an unexpected bump for many companies, everyone. And so, but you have to continue moving forward. And this, having somebody to come in and help you and guide you and come in and really assess how you're going to get through the next 4 months, 5 months, a year plan. It's always very important. I know that you yourself are a huge planner. I know that you have to set things in motion, but with a plan, because you have to be able to guide yourself. You look at the statistics nowadays, and this may not be over. We may have to live with this for another year.
Yeah.
Or how to recuperate your job, how to recuperate your businesses will take longer than expected. But always having a plan in place is always very important, because that way you know your numbers. Number one, always, and I love that you said have your financial statements ready. Always have your finances ready, because when they ask you for loans, which you don't know of any more coming up, or help for your companies or for yourself, for your business, one of the number one thing that they ask you is, do you have your finances? May I have your financial statements? Mm-hmm. Believe it or not everybody has them ready, because those are things that you're so busy working, trying to get clientele, trying to get your product out, that you forget one of the important things of business, your financial statements, because those are pretty much what's going to get you and your company or your services complete. They're what is going to help you move forward is your financial statements. One last thing, Soledad, before we go, advice to those that are wanting to open up a business, that are still in the market to become entrepreneurs like yourself. Words of wisdom.
Number one, that in times like that like the ones we're going through, or the times of changes, is where we find new opportunities. So you can see it as a negative season. I see it as a positive season. Look for the opportunities. Ask yourself, what do you need now that you didn't need before? If you need it, somebody else needs it. So here you have the opportunity to create a new concept, a new idea, because there is a demand in the market. Number two, ask for help and look for subject matter experts. If you're sick, you go to the doctor. And determine which is the medicine and which is the perfect treatment for you, because you want to get cured right away in 1 week, right? So the same with finances. And the third one is know your numbers. Financial knowledge give you freedom and give you the ability to make and take decisions now that affect your results now. Do not expect 13 months until April next year, because you associate the numbers with taxes. Taxes is something that we have to do, and it is our responsibility to do it every April. But every month, you are the CEO of your destiny, and you have the ability to make a different decision that will affect the outcome and the financial and the longevity of your company and the well-being of your family and the community. So stay with your numbers, know your numbers, and if you need any help, we're here to support you.
Thank you so much. What great advice. Thank you so much, Soledad, for your time and your knowledge. You're just like a really brilliant person. Every time I know, when I see you and I hear you speak, especially on the financial parts and really helping organizations, helping businesses, that people will benefit from your knowledge. They will be benefit. And the great thing is that you do it in English and you do it in Spanish.
Yes. Yes.
That is another great highlight of doing this. And for those that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. But we will place at the bottom in the comment area of this program, we will place all her information where you can contact Soledad directly for STC consultant, her business, and she will be more than happy to contact you to respond. And is it okay to ask you questions as well?
Yeah.
I will put all her handles. She is all over social media, a website, all that will be included right after this program is over. We'll place all the information below in the comment area. Soledad, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I will leave you alone for a few hours because you'll be back today. You'll be back today for our NHPO Pequeños Negocios segment tonight at 6 p.m. with our host, Frank Rodriguez. And you guys will touch on a very important subject. And this is en español, completamente en español. Y se va a hablar de saber es poder. Es comprender tus finanzas, which I think is a very, very great topic in all communities. We have a big base we have a huge base of Latinos and with NHPO that like they like the information in Spanish. So we've created this show. This will be the second show, Pequeños Negocios, highlights in Español. So tune in tonight here on the same platform to listen to Soledad, and on this amazing subject is, again, saber es poder, comprender tus finanzas. So if you have any questions, si tienen preguntas que quieren preguntarnos, mándenos directamente a NHPO en esta página, y a la noche a las 6 Soledad va a poder responderles y vamos a hablar sobre esto. So again, Soledad, thank you so much. And for those that are tuning in, thank you so much for always tuning in every Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays with our small business highlights. We'll have an amazing guest tomorrow as well as the week coming up. So in the meantime, please, if you haven't done so, go vote. Go vote, go vote. Please go vote. We cannot tell you who to vote. Please don't throw your vote away. If you're a person in your household that is the only one that can vote, or you're a first-time voter, you're registered, please, it is your civic duty. Please go vote. And if you're still in kind of in odds of who to vote for, my suggestion, please research the candidates, their platforms, who they represent, what they represent. Listen to it. Do your own research. Don't go by what you hear. Do your own research. And then that way you can go cast your ballot for the person that that will represent you and your family for the following 4 years. We have local elections as well as the big presidential election this year that comes every 4 years. So please continue. Please vote. Early voting. This is the best way for you. You don't have to stand in lines for hours. Do it. Go to your local area where you're registered. Take your ID. Please vote. And please continue supporting your local business. Those that are able to do so, call in your food order right now. Don't cook. Okay, cook if you have to. But, plan for dinners, plan for your breakfast. Continue supporting your local restaurants, your local boutiques. I always show earrings because we go to many boutiques around our area. When this is all done, and we pray that this is all done, you're going to want to go get your coffee, your breakfast taco, your dinner dates at your local restaurants, boutiques, and areas around you. We want to see them continue thriving and staying open for us. So continue supporting your small business. And we will see you tonight. Thank you so much for supporting NHPO. We thank you, and we thank Soledad Tanner, STC consultant. Again, we'll post all the information below. And in the meantime, in behalf of the entire board of NHPO, thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you later tonight. Have a great and amazing day.